I hope your days are going well. I hope you guys are all having a beautiful family day, President's Day, Monday. I like to start the Mondays with a little mindset inspiration. So I thought this was a good topic, especially for people in social media, in real life, in Web 2, Web 3, regardless of where you are. This is a really great topic to have. Some people, hey Scarface, see your hand is up. What's up?
Yeah, I think Jay is listener.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why. He was a speaker. I'll invite him again.
He probably rugged, and Jenny's probably
No, she's studying. She's like doing something productive.
yeah. I think she's
Yeah, I am answering my reviewer and I'm using Grok
all
for
right.
AI.
What? Is
It's
that
easier instead of
illegal?
me just reading the notes, you know what I mean?
Let's get it. What's popping here?
Yeah, so we're on the topic of confidence. If you're comfortable, I'd love to ask you a question, Scarface, and see what your feedback is. And of course, I'm going to give my perspective, but um, I think defining confidence and what that means to you and exploring the different ways that we interpret confidence can be a great starting point to this discussion. We're going to be talking about how confidence is perceived and how it's manifested within different individuals, the importance of confidence, if there's cultural and societal, sorry about that, influences like cultural norms or expectations, and possibly maybe upbringings that can shape you into what you believe confidence is, the relationship between having confidence and having success. I think that's important. There's also dark sides to confidence, so we'll be trying to touch on that as well. And then, just a couple of different points if we have time and people, are in the space. I'm happy to keep this going as long as possible because it's President's Day and we don't gotta do anything. So let's talk about things that matter. Yes, I've been working on a song actually about confidence, but I'll tell you about that later at the end and what empowerment means to me. But first question, Scarface, what does confidence mean to you personally, and how would you describe a confidence person in your eyes?
Just basically be you. That's confidence. Don't try to be anybody else. Don't be a copycat. Be yourself, and that means that you like believe in yourself. That's it.
Okay, so it sounds like you're getting to the point of like be original, be creative in your own way. Do you think there are characteristics in how to be original? Is it, I guess, is it something that you can do without having to put yourself out there or having to be outspoken, having to be an extrovert? Can you still be confident?
And yeah, you can just be yourself. Basically, like a lot of people just copycat, and when they copycat, they're not confident. When you're like doing your own thing and you're actually like original, it's always the confidence is what makes you original. You know what I'm saying? Because I kind of like feel like you know, I believe in myself and I believe what I'm doing, and that's how I keep it original. In because I'm confident on what I can deliver or what I can do. So basically, that's the main thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think confidence is when you have absolute trust within yourself, absolute feeling of belief, and this feeling of relying on yourself rather than someone or something. Um, I want to bring up the question also, can individuals with low confidence still make significant contributions to society and to our world? And how can we maybe support and empower those who do struggle with confidence issues, meaning, I guess, in your perspective, Scarface, someone who is, in your opinion, not being original or not being trustworthy in their actions and their words and that self belief. What would you say or do for someone who is lacking that type of confidence?
Well, a lot of people struggle with like society and their confidence level, but people that have enough confidence should probably like build them up and help them grow. Because a lot of people kind of like look down on them, but those are the people that you should bring up because you never know what they can bring to the table.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I think a lot of it has to do with setting the expectation or example of what you. Oh, Nala needs to go outside. 1 second, but I do think it has a lot to do with setting the expectation of what you believe that person is capable of, whether that is, you know, I guess Web3. It's all about a lot of creativity. Maybe encouraging them or supporting them with your words or suggesting, like, hey, you should try this, or constructive criticism is always one way to build people up. But I think it's the way that you present it and the way that you react that really matters. I want to say hi to Cali Speedway. Hey, girl, how's it going?
Hey y'all. Going good. I like this conversation. Glad I was just being nosy and clicked on. Cause I always like to say like God was very generous with talent. Very
Mm,
generous with talent. Look around. It's a lot of talented people. God was not very generous with confidence. So that's where the work comes in. Because that's why normally we see people who may have less talent than us or whatever the case may be, or we may feel we're more talented than them, but they have the confidence, and it really is making like all the difference. So I'm somebody who, your last question when you said, should we like, help those who don't have that much confidence? Yes, yes, yes. Hard, yes. I'm trying to even figure out how to empower more people. I don't know if it's audiobook. I don't know if it's like a daily session. I don't know if it's whatever it is, we'll come up with it. But I think very much so we should empower those who may be lacking confidence. And it is something we all can reach for sure. It's not something we all have automatically, but it is something that we can attain. So I think together in spaces like this and um, also with self work and self love, it's all tied in with the confidence because it's like the most talented people in the space are ones who like are afraid to share or have not shared music before, and we hear their stuff and we're like, what? Like the world has to hear this, or the world needs to know this perspective. Um, so yeah, we gotta definitely put confidence, above talent when we're talking about helping people to achieve that status. We got the talent, it's here. Confidence is something we gotta daily work on. And I mean, shoot, let's be honest, minute by minute, y'all be working on your confidence because it's hard. Like this, dimension, and especially with creatives, it's not the most welcoming environment sometimes. So it's like you're gonna have to have some skin about you when you are presenting and when you're trying to get people to understand a new way of thinking or a new message or whatever the case may be. So for sure, let's talk confidence to one another and build up that part of ourselves.
I agree. I think that moves smoothly into the next topic of the importance of confidence and just discussing the significance within various aspects of your life, like personal relationships, career advancement, just your mental health. Um, Low confidence can actually empower individuals. Or maybe even just confidence in general can empower individuals to just take those risks, pursue opportunities, and then overcome those challenges. I wanted to say that I think it starts from of course, within, but a huge part of confidence also has a lot to do with what you allow on the outside, what kind of people you're talking to, what kind of movies you're allowing yourself to listen to, what kind of leaders you're following in this Web3 space. How many influencers do we have who maybe say something that they want more followers, or like, you know, they want more attraction and popularity in a space, and it's like, is that really what matters? And are we building each other up and promoting positivity in the way that we're empowering each other to do whatever it is that we want to do, whether that's singing, whether that's art, whether that's just posting more, whether that's creativity? I think especially because the fact that I see most of you guys in here are because of my involvement in Web3. I think it's kind of a reason why you are here is because you care about this topic, and I think that makes you a leader in itself. Putting yourself in situations where you're learning instead of gaining attraction, you know. Do you believe confidence should be outwardly visible, or can it be subtle? I think that's what we kind of were in, like, introducing in a question prior, but I don't think it was answered. And I see Harley came up. I'd love to hear your perspective. Do you think confidence needs to be outwardly shown and visible to the public, or do you think it can be subtle and understated? What do you think?
Well, my opinion there is, before anything else, hi everyone, and I love this topic. I love this kinds of topic because it made us think, and it made us, sometimes the perspective that we don't know we have, can be brought up. So thank you, Megs, for that question. Anyway, yeah, my opinion about that is that you don't have to you don't have to outwardly show that you are confident, because that will somehow make the others feel a bit feel a bit lower, because sometimes there are people that are affected in this kinds of energy, or the one that you're showing is like you're when you're showing that you are very confident. It's like it made the energy will be it's not gonna be like equal. So you're showing that like you're a bit higher on confidence, and the other person that you're with will feel a bit low, and you don't want to have that kind of feeling for the other people too. And it doesn't really gonna affect you negatively if you just keep it cool. And I think real confident people don't have to show it. I mean, if you're confident, you're confident. You're not gonna outwardly show that you're confident. If you are doing that, outwardly saying that you're confident, or showing, there's something wrong. It's like you're fighting something on your on inside you that's saying that there's something in that saying you're not confident, but you're showing that you're outwardly showing it. That's like fighting something inside you that's saying you're not confident or something you shouldn't be confident about. So it's like you showing it off is your way to fight that voice inside you. So we have different experiences, but yeah, this is the maybe based on my experiences and the people that I that I'm with before. Every person has a different perspective. It's because of their different experiences as well.
Yeah, I totally. Can you guys hear? Yeah, okay. I totally agree. I think that's one of the dark sides to confidence is that sometimes people can confuse it with pride. People can confuse it with being most liked. I see Callie Speedway has her hand up. Did you want to contribute to that question of whether it needs to be outwardly visible, or can it be quiet and a form of peace, maybe.
Yeah, and I think I wanted to speak on that because it is funny how Harley mentioned like how your confidence is received by others is another way of why maybe it's hard to show it at times because you don't want to look arrogant or prideful or haughty or any of those. But again, it true confidence, like we're reiterating, is not going to be boastful or loud or flashy. Like a truly confident person can let's say let's use an example of walking into an audition. Like they can walk in, they can assess the energy in the room and say they don't have to bring anybody down. You know what I mean? They just know that there are a lot of talented people in here, and the person or persons who are going to be chosen for this opportunity are going to be the ones that have walk the fine line of having confidence and then whatever the director or producer are looking for. So it doesn't have to be loud or bragging, it doesn't have to be boastful, but I think people will still get a sense of your confidence just how you speak to them. I think about like when somebody walks in a room, a crowd of people, and they're like, hello everyone, and it's kind of like, oh shoot, they weren't shy to like speak out and say hello to everyone in the room. That's a confidence. That's confidence. That's not like shrinking your voice. Like, if you're somebody who was trained to come in a room and speak to everybody and it's just in you to do that. And it's not that you're like trying to be, extra seen or heard. It's just, if you're confident, you can speak to everyone in that room, feel love for everyone in that room without it being this competition thing. But also, shrinking yourself purposely because you're in an environment where people may not be able to be ready to receive your confidence is also, something that you got to be careful about because again, it's a fine line. You don't have to walk in I'm confident. Can't you see I'm confident? Like that's not how it goes. That's just really not how it has to go. Everybody in that room, if you come in and say hello everyone, then it's almost, I know I'm in the room, I'm like, oh, they're confident. They can address everybody, they can say hello, they can have a smile, no ill intent or whatever the case may be. But I think for sure it's a fine line when we're talking confidence, but we're gonna err on the side of like knowing who we are and just walking in that shamelessly, and that kind of glow is what people will see.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That was beautiful. Thank you so much for providing your perspective on that question. Jenny, um, what's up?
Okay, so here's what I'm going to share. So, like, I really think that confidence is really built by the person, right? As for me, when I was younger, I don't have any confidence, right? Because I don't know anything in this world yet, right? So as you grow older, as you gain more experiences, then there comes confidence. Like, finally, you can face the world, you can face people and say, hey, I already know these stuff. And then like you can just communicate with them in a way that you both understand what's going on. So I think for me, confidence is actually, it's actually built and gained over time. And Callie is right that your confidence shouldn't be boastful. Just enough for the people to know that you can actually mingle with them in the same way, in the same energy that yet you have.
I agree. I'm one of those people that only will speak on a topic unless or contribute to the conversation unless I know what I'm talking about. And I can confidently say that I trust what I'm saying is 100% accurate. Um, Sometimes it may be translated differently to someone, but for me, confidence is defined by just, being true to yourself and your thoughts, and maybe even admitting that you don't know what or don't.
I totally agree. And like there are things that you don't know that other people know, and so you just let them know that hey, like I don't know anything, I don't know everything in this world, but hey, I'm open. I want to know what you know, and let's share it.
Yeah, learning, growing. I think I like that word better. Um, this is a great segue into what I wanted to say regarding upbringing or maybe cultural and societal influences. Um, I'd love to explore how maybe cultural norms, societal expectations, and maybe upbringing can shape one's confidence levels and how they present themselves in public or in a situation where they need to be confident. For one, I'm from Hawaii, I'm from the islands. I was actually a very shy person. I would say almost not confident, and that was mainly because, in my opinion, the people that I surrounded myself with, I was very negatively spoken about my weight, my body. It was always like, you need to eat less, you need to stop going for seconds, you need to just, be playing basketball and working out. And let me tell you, like, I played basketball since like third grade. And yes, I ran the entire time and was at the end of the line every time we did sprints. But shit, like, some people just, I don't know. For me, I've always just been the bigger person out of the friend group. And I just kind of accepted it these days. And I feel confident now to express that towards you guys or towards people. And I think it had a lot to do with me putting aside those people who had those opinions and accepting it and being all, you know, I I agree Pacific Islanders are a little bigger in life, but it doesn't mean that I have to take in and let that define me. So how was your upbringing? I'm sure we have a whole variety of different people from across the globe that can contribute to this question, but I think upbringing and culture has so much to do with how we feel confident in ourselves. Who's does anybody? I don't see hands, but go ahead and speak. Cam, yes.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the last part again? It broke up. You said how was the upbringing, and then it cut out. Sorry.
Yeah, so the question is pretty much, are there cultural or societal expectations that might influence how your confidence is perceived or given?
That's a great question. I think it does. So I grew up in Atlanta, and so with one of the things that can happen there, at least from what I experienced, the area that we originally moved to, coming out of New York, it wasn't diverse. It was mainly white, and it was very different for me when I started school there because just the environment you were in, like you weren't able to really talk about things that you knew growing up in like your family or just different factors that may just plague you. Like, and then also I have a immigrant parent, so like with certain lifestyles and certain behavioral things that like went on, it was extremely different. Like when they would say, "Hey, let's can you spend the night over here? Or let's just go here. Let's travel here, or let's go eat at this place." And it's like, no, I'm not allowed to. I can't. Just because of how our upbringing was. There wasn't a thing in the neighborhood I lived in to have an immigrant parent, let alone a black family. So it did affect my confidence going through school, through grade school, because it was it was hard trying to socialize when you didn't see that in the room. And it wasn't until I really like moved into college that I was more in a diverse area that I really gained confidence into saying, okay, I may not see people looking like me in a room that I'm sitting in, but I still have to be confident in that I know what I'm doing and that I know who I am as a person. So I think inadvertently it kind of sharpened me to not worry so much onto like what's going on around me, but more so that I know what I am for myself. I know where I come from. I know why I'm here. I know what I'm doing. And that's something that I had to realize in college. I'm still in college, so this is recent. This was like as of like 4 years ago.
I think I can totally relate to that. Just being, well, like being from Hawaii and having the same type of person, the same
looking person around. Not to say that we all look the same, but there's a certain stigma to islanders where they talk the same, they do the same things, they have the same hobbies kind of. And coming to what we call the mainland or the rest of the United States, you just are open to a whole diverse community that so confidently speaks their native tongue, Spanish. Like, I'm just amazed at how many people know Spanish in California, because in Hawaii, there are very minimal people who know Hawaiian. And that's sad. And, it can maybe even relate to the confidence that I have in my upbringing and where I'm from. But I also think that you have a point to the extent of like being, I think what you're trying to say is like eventually, and maybe Jenny also tagged along with this concept, but like as you grow and as you get older, you kind of gradually and maybe even naturally develop your own type of confidence based off of what you know already. And then you're kind of growing and learning new things. I have never been to the East Coast, but I hear, especially people from Atlanta, like they always be hyping, like the spaces and just being so, in my opinion, confident. And I think it definitely has a lot to do with where they're from and the different things that they see around them and the different way people are sharing their experiences and their life with the rest of the world. And that's cool. I'm glad you came to the space. I'm glad you are speaking. We always need perspective and learning lessons. I have a, well, I don't have a quote, but I know a quote that says, "Success is never owned and the rent is due every day." And I think that goes the same for confidence. Confidence is never owned, but it is something that you need to contribute to every day in order to gain confidence and to gain that natural ability to just trust yourself and speak freely, do freely, and just not worry about that downfall or that failure or that thing that's going to bring you down. I see also. Oh, yeah.
I think that's another problem though, Megs, because like
Oh.
people are too scared, right,
Mm-hmm.
to show something or to say something, and people think, I'm gonna be judged when I say this thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're totally right with that.
But I mean, that is definitely one of the dark sides to confidence, is that what Cali Speedway was saying is sometimes people can be over, or I think it was Harley, maybe even everyone, but sometimes people can be overly confident that it intimidates the rest of the room. I can be that, like that in person, where it's like, okay, that person's got the conversation handled. I don't think that I need to say anything because they clearly know a lot, you know? Ness, welcome to the stage. I love your kneeling. I have one. I've never had a kneeling in my space, and I'm freaking so hyped off that. How are you today?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you for letting me up. I wanted to answer. Oh, and of course, what I'm saying, I got to rock the Neolings. It's a part of my brand. Even I'm not the founder, but it's a part of my brand. But anyway, I wanted to get to your question because for me, um, growing up, I never really had confidence, and so is it obvious on the person? No, it's not. Unless they're like in control of the entire room. Like, you got that person that can grab the attention of everyone just based off either a look or something that they said. And that's one of the key things that I've learned a lot over the years, 45 years that I've been on this earth. So what I tell people is for me, what instills confidence within myself is basically just going, hey, you know what? You can engage in a proper conversation with somebody versus like not take total control of the entire room or the spectrum of the room, but just to understand what's going on and then engage with the conversation accordingly, and which builds that confidence up. Now, if you ask me like, oh, do you have confidence in talking to like, let's say, a female that you want to hook up with? No, I ain't got that confidence. I'm sorry, I don't really have the confidence. I'm like, I might say but two words, hello and goodbye, and that's it, and just like see where it goes from there. But other than that, I'm like, I just try to be myself, as transparent as possible, and If the person's vibing with me, they vibe with me. If a group is vibing with me, they vibe with me. If they don't, it's okay. It's no skin off my back. Because at the end of the day, it's all about just your mental mindset. So just wanted to share that with you guys, if that's cool.
That was cool. I love that you threw in the dating aspect because, like, it's hard out here in this world to be single. Like, especially because everything's online. And then, like, in real world, you're just like thinking, should I go up to this person? Should I do this? And you're just like contemplating with that person right in front of you. And it's just like, dude, just say hi. But thank you for coming up and speaking on your perspective. I want to encourage you to just keep contributing to the conversation if you can. I think everyone is able to have a voice in this topic and empower each other, help us grow, help us to realize our flaws even. I know sometimes I can be overly confident, especially when I'm hiding behind this little circle of my face. So I'm really appreciative that you guys are all here today. It's amazing to see the amount of people that show up for a topic that is truly important to my heart and helps me to share my lessons learned and to share what other people are thinking on the other end. But Cash, what's up? Happy
What's
Family
up?
Day.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I didn't know you guys had Family Day. Do
We
you, or
don't,
do you just
but
know a
I
lot of
have a couple of friends
Canadians?
from Canada, and I know that.
It's
Yeah.
Family Day in Canada.
Okay, where that's what's up. Real quick, yo, Violet, you're unmuted, just in case you like hot mic and say some shit.
Same thing.
Yeah, yeah. But I was gonna say, yeah, I think confidence is pretty relative. Like you were saying, like when someone is too loud and like, I guess in spaces specifically, because like you don't see the body language and stuff. When someone is like overly confident, it can you even being confident still kind of make you take a step back. But I think aside from body language, usually confidence isn't very obvious because the idea is subtlety, right? Like the idea is knowing when to step back and when to speak up and like knowing that kind of dynamic. But when it comes to body language, I think it's a lot more obvious because when someone looks comfortable, even if they're not speaking, you can actually tell that they're fine, right? Like that they're vibing, that they're good with the conversation, they're in the moment. But yeah, I think that's like the only time you can actually tell when someone's being confident is when you look at them and how they stand and how they're sitting and even their tone can kind of like give the wrong message sometimes. But other than that, I think it's pretty relative. I think if you see two people, you might mistake one of them for being confident when they're speaking from like insecurity, and one of them for being insecure when they just feel like they're confident enough to know they don't need to speak at the moment, you know?
Yeah, I think it says a lot, and sometimes it's even like the perception of like, you know, it's almost confusing to the person who's talking a lot. Like, why isn't that person talking? Like, do they know something that I don't know, kind of thing? So it can be definitely a form of confidence. And I think that goes back to the topic of, does it have to be outwardly visible? Can you be kind of underestimated in a way where you're just like holding back on what you truly want to say, and maybe that's your form of confidence in knowing that you don't have to speak out in order to be right. I do want to say hi to Baby O and Dot before we get to Jenny. Thank you for coming up as speakers. I'm so happy to have you guys here. Anytime you feel like contributing, we got lots of questions. We got lots of areas to cover. I am so hyped off this topic that I got a whole outline prepared. So we ready. But Jenny, how's it going? What's up?
All right. So, for me, like I am from the Philippines, right? I was born and raised in the Philippines. My native language is Filipino. Moving to Canada, I had a little bit of struggle. Well, I can speak English. It's just that this is a different country, and no one speaks your language here. I mean, there are Filipinos here, but it's totally different. So I would say like when I speak in my own language, I'm very confident. Like no one can put me down when I speak my own language. But then when I speak in English, sometimes you don't know if you're actually saying it right, or the actual person is actually like understanding what you're saying. So as for me, like it's just like that. Like that's just how it is here. And living here for 5 years, I can say that I can confidently communicate with people with no problems. And yeah, so that's it. Like I've known a lot. I've learned a lot living here, and that contributes for me being confident to, like communicating and having relationships with people in Canada.
That's awesome. I always think about like if I'm able, like, I mean, I guess I moved from Hawaii to San Diego, but it didn't last very long till I had friends and a community to be with. But I always think about like, can I restart things? Can I like, go the extra step and like move to another place and be okay? But
I know it's pretty hard. So like as for me it's fine because I've been like speaking English even before, even in the Philippines, right? But then like for my daughter, she's young, she moved over here and she does not speak as much English. But yeah, it's hard. It's a big, how do you call it? It's a big adjustment for her, but it's good because now she's getting a hang of it.
that's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. I think that's very courageous of you as a mother to be supporting her in that way and, letting her know that this is something you can do if you ever decide and you're worthy of taking those risks and accomplishing those opportunities. Now, if you guys don't mind, I'd love to segue into maybe talking about the relationship between confidence and someone who's successful. Maybe like examining that correlation between what confidence means and what success means. And can someone be confident in certain areas of their life while also feeling insecure in other parts of their life? Maybe talking about how success can possibly be accomplished without confidence. And then just, using examples like I think sports comes to mind for me. Business, definitely. Creativity, Scarface was saying just being, yourself is confidence. But like, what does that mean in different avenues? And can you be successful without confidence? Ness, go ahead.
As a person that's had like multiple businesses, I can say that being a business owner, it comes with a lot of confidence, but it also comes with a lot of fears as well. For example, for me, when I started my IT business, God knows how many years ago now, 24 years ago, um, I was fearful that I wouldn't get customers, but I had the confidence that I could. So there was that little scale there that I had to really like keep the balance going, but also just go, you know what, I can be successful and not live off of these fears. Now, when it comes to like what I'm doing now, which is game developing and game designing, from that perspective, I'm confident in it because I know that I can push out a great product. But at the same time, it's like, am I going to be successful? It would depend on the people at this point. And personally, I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm confident enough that I will get at least one person to play it and be happy that I made that much of a success because that's a success for me. That's a win. Versus if I have, let's say, 500 people that download my game and play it, and like, okay, cool, it's a success. But it's like, I just wanted that one person. If you get my meaning.
There was a movie that was like I don't know if it was a Tyler Perry movie, but to Tanashi, no, is her name Tanashi? I don't know. But anyways, basically she fell in love with a boy in college. He had this great idea to make this device that was supposed to be worth millions. And she waited for him because he was so confident in having this device work and having it sold that she basically gave her house, her entire life savings, everything that she had to have him prosper in that. And then get this plot twist. She's like over it, like I gave you everything. You're not doing anything with yourself, like you need a job. And then one day he gets a job through her brothers and sisters, and the job is like driving trucks. He's obviously not happy. This is not what he planned. And he gets a call from the place that he's been reaching out to for years to buy his product. And they're like, you got to meet me today if you want this to happen. But he's at work, and this is a job through like their family. So she gets mad. She, throws a fit, like a huge fit where she throws all his stuff on the lawn and everything. And then they divorce, and a couple years later his product sells for millions, and he ends up paying her back with interest. But she can't get over the fact that she let him go because she wasn't confident in his I guess his work and what he was trying to do. So she ends up, I don't know if I should spoil it for you all, but you know, I basically she becomes obsessed and doesn't end well for anyone, including her. But that's a little off topic. Um, I I just wanted to say to the point where sometimes people start things. There's a lot of projects here that I was talking to yesterday who start and then maybe they rug or it doesn't work out. And does that mean that they should just end and stop? Or, could it be that their confidence, they're a little insecure in the process and they should just be confident in knowing that this is a lesson learned. Let's keep going. Let's keep pushing. Let's try again, but better. So I think, Ness, that's what you were saying in a business perspective, just pushing through.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You have to learn to like push your well, first off, you have to put your priorities in check. For example, and I'll take the movie that you mentioned because I did watch that movie. I don't remember the name of it myself, but I did watch something similar to that, and he was trying like people that put their relationships um in front is beautiful, but at the same time, like if you know that you have an opportunity, take that opportunity. And if a person doesn't agree with it, that's fine. Just let them know in advance. Hey, listen, if I find an opportunity, I'm going for broke because this is my livelihood. This is for me. And yes, it could be for you too if you wish to be a part of that adventure. But if you don't, then that's okay too. But if you just outright date a person, then you weren't confident enough to be around that person, and you just don't deserve that person at all. That's just my personal opinion on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Relationships are hard. Love's hard. And being even confident in a relationship can sometimes be the most difficult thing about it, especially if there's a history to it. Which I believe in the movie, he did have a history to it. So I don't blame her for being like, whoop de woo, you did this and that back in the day. You're using all my money, blah, blah, blah. It does suck that it did happen for him and she wasn't a part of it. But I mean, I think that is another form of confidence, knowing that you don't need that other person in order to feel or be successful, whether that's successful in love, successful in self love. It comes back to the point of like trusting yourself and just being educated in the fact that you know what you made the right choice, and you know that your choice is worth respecting and worth sticking to. I think that could be a confidence lesson in that way for that movie. But talking on like the dark side of confidence, we kind of talked about how you can be a little bit more confident than others and intimidate the room. We talked about how cultural norms are something that kind of can interfere with the way that you present yourself. I know there are some cultures that are a little more outspoken and a little more willing to be a certain type of way. There are cultures like how Jenny said, where she was just kind of a little more shy. And I truly think, I don't want to sound racist in any way, but like, there are different cultures that are a little more reserved than um, outspoken. And if you look at the way that their life pans out or what they're doing with their lives, sometimes those people who are a little more reserved have a lot more going for them, especially in businesses. I see, the pho community or the nail salons, they aren't necessarily those outspoken type of people. And maybe it's because of a language barrier, but I do think to an extent when it comes to business, it could be a lot about confidence. How can you differentiate between genuine confidence and maybe overcompensating? Because sometimes, for me, for example, just to give you a personal example, it's having to do with my self love. I struggled a lot with being loving to myself, that it was hard for me to be loving towards other people. And I felt like I needed to kind of be a certain type of voice to back myself up. Like anytime something was to come up that came my way, I felt like I had to retaliate or just react in a way where, like, I know who I am and what I'm worth. You can't tell me anything. But I've kind of learned that maybe it's a better reaction when you're confident in not saying anything back. And I think, in my opinion, to just contribute an answer to that question, how do you differentiate between genuine confidence and overcompensating or trying to get an applause for a comeback? I think it's almost more confident in my life to be the one who just, doesn't say anything and just kind of chooses to be prideful in the way that, like, I have so much pride that I don't have to contribute my energy to this conversation. Does anyone else, maybe Dot, or I haven't heard from you, Dot, but you're on the stage, which is great. You're still listening. But if you have anything to say, please come in. Cash just came up to the stage. So if you guys have anything to say, definitely want to hear your perspective. Go ahead, Dot.
Yo, what's up, Megs? And I had to come show some love to you. You're always in my spaces and supporting and talking and just spreading your kindness and your wisdom. So, like, for me, confidence is subjective to, like, both um, to each person, to everybody. It's going to be different. And then, like, in so many different aspects does confidence come into play, right? Like, somebody could be confident leaving the house, starting their day, and that's like max confidence for them, right? To put on a good outfit and go face the world. Sometimes that takes all the confidence that you have inside of you. And then, like, you guys bring it up, like speaking to somebody you admire, that takes confidence because you gotta, like, when you look up confidence, it's like the reliability of yourself, right? Like, do you believe in yourself? And a lot of people don't, right? And you asked if you could experience success with low or no confidence. And that's funny because success is so subjective too, right? Like, for me, sometimes success is just waking up on time, and that doesn't require any confidence. And I've seen success, but I haven't been confident that I could achieve that necessarily. I can't repeat what I've done to re-achieve, right? So it's a milestone, it's an achievement, but I don't feel the success. Um, yeah, I think confidence is something that's going to fluctuate on like a scale of 1 to 10 every day, and it's your challenge against yourself, right? It's your reflection is what your confidence is. How you're feeling on the inside, you show on the outside. So when somebody comes in the room with their chin up and a smile on their face, you don't have to have beautiful teeth or a pretty face to smile. You know what I mean? And that's my favorite sign of confidence is somebody smiling and being happy and spreading it to others. You see somebody with the confidence to be happy, or you're confident enough to be yourself around people, that's going to open it up for others around you. And I think that's the most boosting another's confidence with yours is the main thing for me. My main confidence takeaway.
That's awesome. I loved everything you had to say. It kind of brings me back to, not, I guess, the distinguishing factor between having confidence and showing others that they're capable of being confident without manipulating or putting them down, having that realization of the presentation in being the constructive criticism factor. I think constructive criticism can go a long way if it's constructive. If you're just trying to speak on the negatives and never have anything positive to say or any strengths to say, that kind of says something about the person giving you the confidence booster. We touched on a lot. I just want to reset the room. We're talking about confidence and what that means to you. If you're wanting to come up and speak, I'm more than happy to add you as a speaker. I love that you guys are all in the room. I love that most of the people here are in the Web3 community. I think there are a lot of people out there that host spaces, and I'm not saying that I'm a professional or expert at hosting spaces. I'm not. I just thought of the topic, and I actually struggle with these titles. Like, I be trying really hard with the titles and it's like this one just popped to people. So I'm really happy that we get to talk about this because it means a lot to me, since I am one who does definitely lack confidence, but the rent is due every day. I'm putting in the work to try and gain that confidence and gain that respect for myself. um okay, we said confidence is subjective. We said that success is subjective, but um, can we maybe discuss ways that we can support and empower others within building that confidence? Like, we have been saying it, but we haven't really gave specific examples or maybe testimonies on how we were able to accomplish that, because I think sometimes confidence can be shown a little aggressively, whether or not you're trying to be like laid back or actually outspoken about it. Just speaking your mind and what you think sometimes can be like, whoa, like, dude, why did you have to say that? But it can also be a growth factor. It can also be an opportunity to learn about what we can improve on. Can confidence be learned? Can confidence be learned, and can it be developed? Which I personally think is true. Or is it just a trait that you personally have? And like we've been saying, it comes from your upbringing and what you were taught as a kid. Dot, go ahead.
I think Cash might have beat me to it, but he put his hand down. To me personally, I come in this space facing adversity, thrown on a PFP and subjecting yourself to an image right away that's not just your face. People identify you, profile you, and just like for reference, like my project, the Met Rebels, the floor is lower than the min price, right? And there's drama circulating our ecosystem. There's a lot of opinions. And it's not my type of thing. I'm not a dramatic person. I don't argue with people. I don't fight with people. But it's so much negativity all the time sometimes in NFTs, and you just got to like sometimes face that. And you got to have like conviction and belief in some things. So like I wear this all the time, and it's confidence, right? And my friends build my confidence, and like I definitely think confidence could be encouraged and worked on. Like that's what you did, and if you're educated, that's what you do with your education, right? You educate yourself, and that way you're confident in your abilities and your education and your intuition. So like when I feel confident, I try doubling down without because it doesn't come easy, Megs. Like I have depression and anxiety. I'm not like bust not I don't just kick doors down and strut through the buildings, but like I know my worth. I know what I know, right? And I also play a position to where my confidence isn't on display or tested all the time. I'm just very passive, but inside of that, inside of me being myself, I'm very confident because um I don't speak on what I like don't really understand or don't know or don't feel, right? And I don't involve myself in anything I don't love or get the energy from. So yeah, like sometimes when I'm way out of my element, I won't feel confident, and I think people could tell. You know what I mean? But usually people grab onto you when they could tell you're not a confident individual. I think the confident ones tend to take care of the less, hopefully, and sometimes, you know what I mean. But yeah, like I think being in crypto Twitter, it takes a lot of confidence a lot of the time.
Go ahead, Ness.
Um, okay, hard to come behind that one, follow behind that one. But for me, yeah, I'm like dropping this little JPEG here of my kneeling and whatnot. I'm Dot, so basically people know my face. You know what I'm saying? I try to post every now and again, but I have it on as my pin profile, as my pin tweet, so this way people know exactly what I look like behind my PFP because I'm confident that people want to know who I am. You know what I'm saying? Rather than just go, oh, okay, you're just some JPEG guy. You know, in that sense. But outside of Web3 and NFTs, I can say without certainty that I'm confident in like dealing with like people and whatnot and understand putting myself in their shoes and understanding what they're going through. Because 90% of the time, you know, I might be going through those same things. And so, you know, having that association with people is a great thing, especially in the space. Now, bringing it back to Web3, I tend to gravitate a lot towards people that are on both sides of the spectrum, whether they're confident or not. And I help them boost their confidence. You know what I'm saying? Because I want them to just not just grow, but I want them to show themselves for who they really are, not just like go I'm this persona and that's it. No, just be your true, authentic self, and don't give a shit about what other people think. Like honestly, like me, I don't give a shit about what people think about me in all respects. Because end of the day, it is what it is. Whether you like me or not, that's irrelevant to me too. At the end of the day, as well. But if we're vibing with each other, if we're diving, we're going, we're going with the flow with things, then I'm gonna ride with you. But if you're always against me and whatnot, I'm like, okay, cool, no problem, no skin off my back. I'm gonna just I'll keep pushing. But if you show me that little bit of inkling, it's just like, hey, you know what? I'm confident in what you're doing. I see that you're gonna be successful. Then I'll take that and be happy with it because that little boost means a lot more than somebody give me a big boost. I don't want the big boost. I want that small boost because throughout my life I've taken a lot of wins, I've taken a lot of losses, a lot more losses than wins, and I'm cool with that. And I can speak about that transparently because it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people can't because they're not confident enough to talk about those small losses or even the big losses. They're too busy talking about those big wins. No, how'd you get there? And that's one of the key things that I try to bring out in people is, hey, listen, I don't care about your wins. I want to hear about your losses, your struggles, because maybe I might be able to guide you in a specific way to go, hey, you know what I'm saying? I've been there. I've been in your shoes. I can help guide you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to advise you, but I will guide you to the point where you go, oh, okay, I have that little small confidence boost to go, I know somebody has my back.
I love that. I think we have a common denominator in acknowledging and embracing your vulnerabilities rather than masking them. I think that's a huge thing in Web3. We at first, when I first got into the spaces, everybody was like something different than what they actually are, and it was like almost intimidating for me, whereas like, who do I trust? Like, I'm listening to all these people talk and they sound great, but like, are you are you real? Like, is this really real life? Because at the end of the day, we shut off our phones and we go into the world thinking we just made a connection with someone who may have taught me something, but is it something that I can grow from and apply to real life? And I love that you said, to not give a fuck about what people say, but like truthfully, that's one of my flaws. I give all the fucks, because it's not easy to not give a fuck sometimes, you know, like you're trying so hard to be a certain expectation for yourself that when you see other people not seeing what you see or feeling what you feel, it's like, damn, like, you know, why don't they see it? Like I'm so confident that I feel so strongly and I want to like speak out about it, but like it sucks when you're the only person in the room that's on your side. So it can be easier said than done, and I do think that's a strong characteristic of being confident, is not taking in what people have to say. But I do also think that maybe figuring out how to do that in your own way. For me, once somebody says something to me, like it just sticks in my brain and then it circulates and it grows. Like it just circulates and then it turns into like something that they didn't even really say, but I think they said because I'm translating what they said into something that I think they were meaning. And it's like, it's a whole ordeal. So what I do is when somebody says something that's against my confidence or against something that I believe is true to myself, I write down 5 reasons why what they're saying is not true, or what I'm thinking about what they said is not true. So I encourage you guys to try to think of a way to block out those quote unquote haters, or people who are just against the grain or against the road that you're on, and just stay in your lane. You know, if it turns out that they're right, cool, you know, like it's an awesome learning experience, but I don't think you have to dwell on it because it just gets a little bit out of control mentally, and then you could even lack in confidence. I think Cash, go ahead, bro. Thanks for putting your hand up. I'd love to hear your perspective on that.
Yeah, I think Ness hit the nail on the head with not caring for sure. I think that's like the biggest key to confidence. And I do think it's okay to have your confidence affected. Like there can be a moment where you're wondering what someone meant and you're overthinking it, or like you're caring more about how they felt than your own confidence. I think that's how you get to having confidence, right? Is by like going through that process enough times. But yeah, no, I definitely think that as far as like constructive ways of building your confidence goes, I think speaking your truth is the biggest one. So like that goes hand in hand with not caring, right? Like you can even know that you're in the wrong, and it'll probably make you more confident overall if you still say what you want to say, even knowing that it was wrong, right? Because if all you're caring about is the reason you're not saying it is you know how that other person is going to feel about it, who cares? Just fucking go for it, right? Like that's not the overall importance of it. Isn't supposed to be how they feel about it. It's supposed to be like your piece on it. And even if the piece is like what you say is going to end some sort of connection or create some sort of drama, then that's just like part of the journey of kind of like going through it and not having that same situation pop up again, right? But yeah, it's definitely like a step by step process to get to confidence. And like Dot said, it's a fluctuation. You're not always going to stay in that same mindset, but like you earn it by going through that stuff for sure. Oh, and also the other key tip I wanted to say, because you mentioned sports and like sales and stuff, like yeah, a lot of people and business, a lot of people get confidence from that for sure, because you see like numbers to show you how good you're doing. But I do think having just some sort of competitive ish hobby is important for building confidence, because even if you're not that good at it, just not caring about, you know, being a professional and still going back and playing again because you enjoy it, like that helps you build a lot of confidence for sure.
Go ahead, Ness.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna thoroughly explain what I meant by that. For me, it took, like I said, I'm 45 years old, so it took many years for me to build this confidence up where I don't give a fuck about what people say. Once upon a time in my like maybe like 20s and whatnot, before my first life passed away, bless her soul, I lacked very little confidence, and it took me many years of practice to actually get to this point where I'm like, I don't care about people's opinions or what they may think. Now, if they can point out specific traits within me that say, hey, listen, you could you could extend more confidence, or you could show, voice something a little bit more better, or help me with my speech sometimes, or my vernacular, then yes, I will gladly take that into consideration. Okay, well, that's a confidence booster. Whereas if they're just, if you got people that's always fading you, or treating you like shit, those people I will not listen to at all. I was like, you know what? In one ear, out the other. Go fuck yourself. Your opinion doesn't fucking matter. And I'm very blunt and brutal with it. I'm brutally honest in what I say and how I approach people. Um, and 90% of the time, I try to clean up my language, because sometimes I can use very strong language against people, which is something that I'm working on to boost my confidence. Because, like I tell people, language is it's not just about your body language; it's also how you present things, how you say things, which can actually boost up not just your confidence, but also the confidence of the person you're speaking to. So always be mindful of that, and it does take a lot of time. Not too much. Don't overthink it. Don't overdo it. Just go with the flow. And that's one of the key things that one of my life coaches had taught me, was to just go with the flow, understand what the person is conveying to you. And if you don't give a shit about what they say, then just don't listen to it. But if you feel that it's something that's going to help you and benefit you later on, then take that into consideration and utilize it as a tool.
Hi, man. Thank you for coming up. What do you got?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I need to echo everyone's statements. Hello. Yeah, like insecurities are always going to be our downfall. We're always going to be our own critic, but is finding that balance, because you've got other people, it's different personalities. You can be overly confident, and that can be your downfall. So, it's finding that balance, and because the insecurities are what make you unique. It's a part of your story, and it makes you relatable. And in sales, that's probably the best superpower to have. You know, I'm getting out of breath talking now, but I freaking bossed an interview today, and I got a 40K job and got the offer. That's why I'm like super out of breath, because I really don't even know what to even say, because I never thought I'd get a job like this, and I got it today. So, and that's awesome. And yeah, don't let any fucking idiots ever get in your way of what you want to do, your dreams. And I guess that's it, really. Like, I can totally do it, and I did do it today, and I got the offer. And the guys, both the guys that interviewed me, they were just like, "You were the best out of every candidate." And obviously, I weren't stumbling as much as I am now, because I tell you what, spaces, they do get the better of you. It's a bunch of strangers, but you power through it, and you get stronger, and you get used to it, and you get better. So keep going, keep going.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. I know the feeling of when you go into an interview knowing that you're going to get it at the end, and then fucking get it. Like, props to you, girl. You doing the thing. You're living the confidence, and I mean, I don't know about the word supposed to be obvious, but it's definitely obvious that you got it. And I'm so happy for you. I can't wait to hear in other spaces how you're growing with that, how it's going. I actually did sales for a really long time after college. It's definitely the more confidence you have, the better you're going to be at it. So I encourage you to keep, making those healthy habits and taking those steps to being a more confident person, because it's definitely going to pay off in the end. I think you also touched, yeah,
For
you also
sure.
touched on a really great point about how crucial confidence is to achieving a goal, like um, getting the interview or getting the job or opening up doors to new opportunities. Something that I had a problem with is change. Like, even if it's good change, I'm like, holy shit, something's different. Like, something's changing. This is weird. It gives me anxiety, even if it's good. Like, it just is not good for my mental health to think about something in that aspect. And you could be just like Megan, like, like Ness was saying, he just can speak words sometimes. But for me, if I'm unsure about even myself, it's hard for me to be confident in pursuing whatever opportunity, pursuing whatever relationship, conversation, space, even sometimes. I know a lot of people in the room may have seen me at a speaker level for some time, and it actually took a lot of confidence. It took a lot of practice too, and it took a lot of putting healthy habits into place. For example, in the past, I would smoke a lot of weed, and I would come on spaces and I'd just be like, "Duh, duh," like it.
I've been
Yeah,
there.
and
Yeah.
that's not a bad thing. Some people are even more confident with it, and I'm not against people doing it, but for me, I could tell that I just got a little more stupider when I partaked in it. So, um
You can definitely get more content. You get a bit too content, being like that, because you wouldn't do that in a professional setting. And imposter syndrome's real
yeah.
as well. So if you become a bit too content in that kind of style of communication, and then you get thrown in the deep end, like I have today. Like I said, it's a job that I never thought I'd ever get, but it feels right. Like the opportunities come about. I've had kind of past experience in a similar role, so but and it's just opportunities, like you said. And yeah, I'm super excited, and I feel like Web3 and spaces has kind of helped me out along that journey. I'm a trader. I haven't minted anything, but I've managed to make like 2 ETH into 10 ETH, just from trading and gambling, maybe a little bit on the side. But I've made some pretty cool trades. So yeah, you learn so much. You meet people from all walks of life over here, and yeah, it's so good. It's so
That's
useful.
awesome. That's really great to hear because not many people accomplish that in this world of Web3 and crypto. So that props to you, girl. Must be doing something right, and you need to share it with the world.
Oh, it's just gambling. It's gambling. I wouldn't say it's right. Be careful out there, because I've definitely had some losses. So this job's come at a pretty good time for me. I'm not
Awesome.
gonna lie.
Okay. Well, not to like piggyback on your losses, but I did want to go into embracing failure and resilience. And we are coming up on almost 2 hours. So thought I'd end it in talking about the role of failure in building your confidence and resilience levels, and maybe how we can encourage the participants or people in the room to share their personal stories of failures and setbacks and how they bounced back even stronger than before. Can These are some questions to think about when you are speaking, if you do choose to speak, and you're more than welcome, even though it's coming up on 2 hours. Come press the mic. Say your perspective. Maybe it'll help you build that confidence. But things to think about: can someone achieve success without possessing confidence? How crucial is confidence in achieving one's goal? And is confidence a prerequisite for someone who is in a leadership position? Can effective leadership exist without confidence? And how does the absence of confidence impact mental health and well being? Can an excess of confidence lead to negative outcomes? And I think we may have covered on some of those things, but just embracing failure and being able to share your downfalls, and if you even have like a testimony of how you weren't confident in something and what steps you took to be confident in that, and kind of empowering the room in learning that process and learning how sharing your downfalls can not be a bad thing to do. No one? That's so funny. Okay, next.
Fuck it, I'll go. So me, I'll just sum it up all the questions in one take. Because I embrace all of my failures as a lesson. For me, my biggest, well, I wouldn't say my biggest failure. I would say my second biggest failure, because my biggest failure is just what was my drinking back in the day. That was my biggest failure. But thankfully, I'm 9 years sober, so there's no more of that. But my second biggest failure was not having the confidence to go, hey, you know what? Get up off your ass. You know what you're doing. You made one game before, and yeah, it failed. Sure, you know what I'm saying. You still got a little cult following, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying. But just get off your ass, get back into it because this is something that you're passionate about. And so, with that passion, drove that sense of confidence within me to go. You know what? I know I can do this. So I actually sat down, taught myself a brand new, a totally different programming language that I was not used to. Um, Relearned how to make sprite sheets and creating sprites, creating animations. Rekindled the love that I have for making music because I used to do recording engineering back in the day. So for me, it was like, okay, I reestablished that confidence to go, you know what, I can do this. And that was something that I just said, you know what, this is my passion. And so with that passion came that confidence to go, I can do it. And so I hopped into it. And sure enough, I found some people who were into like Sound XYZ, and I hopped on there, dropped a few of the tracks for the game soundtrack. And despite the fact that it's not selling, that's okay. I don't care. It's out there for people to listen to. That's what I really want. So that's a win for me. You know what I'm saying? The losses, I'm not taking them. I'm not making profits off it, and that's fine. I don't care as long as the music's out there and people are happy just to hear it. I'm cool with it. If the game doesn't succeed, that's cool too, because at the end of the day, it's a lesson for me to go, okay, what can I do to be better? And so this is why I'm trying to get a community involved at the back end to go, hey, help me out with my failures. Really help me and teach me what I'm doing wrong. And that way I can reboost my confidence, keep that self esteem going to where I now can build something great, not just for me, but for everyone. If so, hopefully that summed up all the questions in one. If it didn't, please let me know, and I can just repeat one of the questions, and I'll gladly get back to it.
No, that was good. Thank you for sharing that testimony. I'm really happy you kept pursuing your passion, kept pursuing improvements. Sometimes people don't realize if you just, like working out, if you do the same workout for X amount of time, you're going to get better at it, but you're going to need to learn new skills, new workouts. So, thank you for sharing that. Mint, go ahead.
Right, let's go. I'm gonna try to, make this make sense. But yeah, the absence of confidence, and still being successful, I guess, is just going out your comfort zone because you're gonna learn. So whether you fail or not, you're gonna learn something just from going outside of your comfort zone. And then what happens after that? You become a teacher because you've experienced something that you're uncomfortable with, but you got through it. You're still there and you're still learning, and it's another day. Each day, take each day as they come, and take those failures and take them as lessons. And you can, give somebody some friendly advice or give like some professional advice. Going forward, if you keep doing that, you would become quite professional. In whatever field you're trying to do it in, whatever kind of job or mint or creative avenue you want to take, you're going to get better each time. So and then you're going to pass that on, and that's also going to make you better when you start teaching. Teaching is probably the best skill to have, because that comes with confidence. When you start seeing somebody else do well because of you, that's where your confidence starts to build. And it's a genuine confidence as well in yourself when you start to see somebody else actually achieve something because of what you've learned in your life. So yeah, hope that makes sense.
It does. It does. And I thank you guys for being speakers because and I thank you guys for being listeners because some people are not willing to be open to perspectives. Even if you don't agree with them, I don't think they're relevant. So thank you guys for showing up today. I just want to end the space with some last words. So we were just talking about failures and being resilient. I, for one, have failed a lot. And I know you're thinking, like, no, Megan, you're young. No, bro. I failed a fucking lot. And sometimes it's out of my control. Where, for example, I went to college, got a degree in business. Ever since graduating college, I've gotten laid off from literally every single job. Not because I sucked at my job. I actually, every single job was passionate about, but I did graduate in 2015, and gradually the economy got a little worse. So eventually it was just a matter of economic choices. We're not making enough money. There's not enough customers coming in. We just don't need you anymore. And that can be discouraging when the worldly circumstances just consistently bring you down. And like I said, in the past, I've smoked a lot. I drank a lot. I was around people who smoke and drink a lot, and that's not a bad thing. But for me, someone who's trying to succeed and someone who's trying to grow, sometimes taking a look at the habits and the choices that you're making that are negatively impacting you as an individual, whether that's, maybe you're overly confident and you're speaking your mind too much that nobody wants to talk to you, or maybe you're too quiet and you need to learn how to be a little bit more open, so that people can understand why you're quiet. There's different faults to everyone. And I think taking your failure and turning it into a strength is probably the biggest transformation that anyone can have. Sometimes people think like, I do have a job right now. My goal, like success for me, would be keeping a job for at least a year. The fact that I have to rely on a job, but that's a wholly different conversation. Um, I, due to consistency of just unfortunate events, really struggled with being positive towards myself. It was like, damn, Megan, like you must be doing something wrong because it never works out. Like I struggle with making friends, and I'm not trying to gain some kind of pity party. I'm just trying to share my personal examples to let you know that you're not alone in the fact that just because nothing is working out doesn't mean you should lack in confidence, doesn't mean that you are not confident. I think that's just a little bit more respect towards being more confident in the fact that you're being true to who you are and you're not giving up and you're being that resilient factor. I do think that confidence is a prerequisite for leadership. I don't think you need it before you get into a leadership position, but there have been many times where I lacked confidence. For example, in sales, I started with phone sales. I didn't do well in it at all. We had goals like every month. That may be one of the jobs that I got laid off because I just was not fucking good at sales. But I didn't give up. And coincidentally, sales was the only opportunity that was coming up for me. And the point that I'm trying to make is that it's okay to admit to your failures, and then it's okay to admit that you need guidance and help. I think sometimes we think we have to do it all by ourselves. We have to, not be open to different people's perspectives. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to host this space, because for me and myself, I was almost lacking confidence. I was like, do I even have a voice in this space of X, when you're putting out tweets and posts and you're like, no one's liking them? It's like my post that I just did. If I just get one heart, it's like, yes, I said something right today. Like I changed one person's life. And just not giving up. So the hashtag empowerment now, that's a project that I'm working on. And what I'd like to do as a first step is just networking and being present in different spaces, including my own. So every week, I'm going to have some kind of empowerment. Get it? The whole mint, MINT. I thought that was a little clever, but I wanted to host an empowerment space every week. I tried once to do it every day and it just got a little overwhelming. So I'm going to attempt to do every week. I'm not sure. I'm a morning person and I feel like I'd operate better on mornings, but I'm thinking about Sunday morning. I know it's a weekend, but it's kind of the day before the first day of the week, the first day that we start work, the first day that we're getting out back into the world. I think it's nice to get a recharge, and I'm hoping to be the plug for the recharge. So, on the topic of confidence and leaders in Web3, I think everyone I'm looking at right now is in Web3. And I'd like to propose a concept of influencers, not people who are gaining followers and looking for attraction, but people who have and believe they have a voice in the Web3 world. I'd love to talk with you to discuss a possible proposal of a project idea. My idea is basically taking leaders and influencers within the Web3 space and taking their words and applying it to the NFT world. Um, I want to bridge the gap between Web 2 and Web 3 by turning it into a tangible asset. For example, a clothing line or maybe a necklace or jewelry. Putting your inspirational thoughts onto a tangible object and using AI to scan that word or quote and allowing you to give the opportunity to share your wisdom and share your failures and your resilience to give a pep talk to whoever is owning that NFT or owning that tangible object. I'm still in the works of it, but I feel strongly that I am given a talent to encourage and motivate people. I'm one of the few people that thrive off of helping others. And I always wondered, like, why is it that I'm always helping people and not myself? And I think that this is a beautiful way for us to help each other by also helping ourselves. When you feel confident in knowing that your failures can turn into successes and can help another person learn from their failures, I think it's a beautiful creation. So that's the whole background about empowerment and how I want to implement these spaces in the Web3 world to integrate leaders that are willing and confident that they are able to empower other people around them, and especially in the Web3 world. So, Mint,
Yeah, I just wanted to
yeah,
touch
yeah.
quickly, on the whole Web3, Web2, stigma surrounding that. Are we actually bridging? Is it actually going to work? I know we got pudgies over at Walmart. We got toys. We've got
Mm.
toys, and merch. But yeah, I mean, I was holding some pretty big NFTs for a while. I was holding doodles for quite a while, and they're just releasing like some watches. I've got some of their doodle crocs, and they're actually charging their holders to pay for these web 2 digital assets and whatever. And I kind of see it. We've got them, The Simpsons. We were kind of featured on there. I don't know, Kevin Hart's new movie. So NFTs are definitely getting the spotlight in the media. But for the future, I don't think it is just about bridging Web 2 and Web 3. I think it's innovation with technology, communication. I think it's more of a crowdfunding kind of idea. If you're doing a mint, you're developing a great audience. So you're getting followers, you're getting fans, or whatever you want to call it, holders, people who believe in you. And personally for me, I'm a musician, so I have a lot of supporters. I did believe in music NFTs for quite a while, but it's just we got to be real here. We're not going to be able to compete against Web 2 because they're regulated, they're governed, they've got a lot of money backed up behind them. So I'm always one of the type of people that would ground everyone as well. But however, on that note, do not stop what you're doing, and creativity is more important now than ever. With AI and AI technology, ChatGPT, that's taken away the human element of creativity. So I'm definitely a huge advocate for people who create, original content. So keep that going for
Yeah, and I
sure.
do want it to be more of a I don't want to say community driven, but subjective towards your opinion on who and what is quality to you. So I'm almost thinking the idea of like a talent show where you can basically so what you could do is emphasize on the hashtag anytime that you use the empowerment hashtag and put inspirational quotes out or inspirational ideas. I think a lot of people in web3 and web2 are looking to be motivators and inspirational people within that role of leadership. And when using the hashtag or when coming to the spaces, you're kind of showing me and other people that you believe in the word empowerment and in the power of empowerment. So it's just an attempt to provide a positive outlook into both realms that people in everyday lives are involved in. I do think that you're correct on the part that there will be challenges and there will be struggles that come up, but it's not an attempt to gain as much money as possible. It's more of an attempt to promote and encourage people to speak up and be more empowered, be empowered to empower people. The whole concept is kind of going along the lines of like you are choosing who you want to listen to and who you want to allow into your life as a mindset or as a learning opportunity. um, I I'm just introducing it, and it's not something that I have like a white paper or business plan to, but it is something that I think has potential. It is something that I want to start in terms of like networking and gaining that audience that is interested in this kind of topic, because as you can see, at one point we had a lot of people in the room and it's kind of diminished, but there are some faces in here that I've seen from beginning to end. And I think that's quality right there. That's better than having 100 people in here listening to me talk and convince them how to be confident. And I think sometimes, like we've been saying, being confident is knowing that what you're saying and being true to yourself um, is simply the definition of confidence. And I I see people like, King Mav or Real Cats Patrick, who I know are able to speak up but are willing to listen to other perspectives and not jump up to the mic and just kind of be like, "Oh, I got this to say," you know? And I struggle with that. Like, I struggle sometimes with just holding back and being like, no, let's let the room speak. So it's just a matter of a work in progress. But Mint, what's up, girl? I see your hand up.
Oh, throw that request button over to some of the guys. That's what I
Oh,
do
yeah, yeah.
sometimes, and you'll be surprised who comes up. I do that in spaces a lot. But I just wanted to go back to what I said. I know I was a bit like negative on the whole, bridging Web 2 and Web 3, but Web 2 companies are definitely taking notes. I do want to say that, and just be careful because they can actually steal some of your own content and the way you're doing it. So yeah, they're definitely, we're getting attention. It's just, whether that attention's it's going to spike and go up, and that's why the markets obviously go up and down as well,
Right, right. You're so right.
depending on global situations and stuff like that, Mm. Yeah, so just wanted to say that. Thank you so much. I do have to bounce.
It's okay. Thanks for
It was
coming. Thanks for stopping by.
yeah. Yeah. for sure. I'll be around. I'll be at the next one. And good luck all.
Okay.
Wish you all well.
Congratulations.
And
Have a
yeah,
great week
let's
with your
go.
new job.
Yes, let's go. I need a lot of motivation, so I'll be back for sure.
Yes, Ness. What's up?
Just a quick final thought before I actually bounce myself. Just one of the things I like to tell people, like if you feel like you lack confidence, just talk to like maybe your closest friend, or just look in the mirror because you're your best friend as well as your worst enemy. But look in the mirror and just really have that little pep talk with yourself, and it helps. Maybe not a lot of people, but it does help out. Me, uh, no, I'm my own worst enemy. So I normally just talk to either like one of my counselors or whatnot that are in my that I have the therapy with. I do mental health therapy, so I will talk to them, or even my rehab prevention group. I'll talk with them, and they'll give me that little bit of advice and whatnot, or even rather suggestions, because they know I don't take advice for nothing. So, I'm always open to new suggestions and whatnot, and perspectives from people. But if a person is trying to advise me all the time, I will probably more than likely fade them immediately and not listen to a word they say. But um, I'm always open to suggestions because for me, suggestions have a lot more power to me personally. So, with that being said, I will see you later and appreciate you for having such a great space, Max. But I have to get going because I got to charge up the phone and take care of these AirPods and run my Monday space later at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I will see you later.
Okay, awesome. Maybe I'll stop by. Thanks for speaking. Have a great week. Thank you for your confidence and being one of those people who have really great outlooks and insights. So I really appreciate you showing up to the space today. Hi, Khadijah. Thanks for coming up. How are you?
Hey Megs, what a wonderful space. Hey everybody. Sorry I wasn't, participating, but I'm in the middle of a catering and I just wanted to come up and say you guys had a great space. Confidence is key. I had a bit of, setback today. I was in the middle of cleaning, then I got a late order, and then I was like, oh, how am I gonna do it? 20 plates right now. Guess what? I just decided, hey, I'm gonna do it because people are depending on me. They believe in me. They love my food, and you know what? Just get it done. Sometimes when we feel like the world is, just hitting us like a damn hammer, guess what? You got to remember that you are in control of that hammer. A hammer can never slam itself on any nail or do anything for itself. You have to hold the handle, and you as well have to know how you're going to lay it down, all right? Don't let, any challenges that you have break you. Keep pushing, and it's going to work out, okay? I love you guys and believe in yourself because confidence comes from deep within you. No matter what nobody tell you, people can keep saying, hey, you can do this, you can do it, you can do it. If you don't have the confidence, you're not going to be able to do it. So please, my people, believe in yourself and trust that you are able and capable of doing anything. And remember that your Lord does not give you anything that which you cannot bear. It feels challenging, but you can always push through. I love y'all, and I do have to go. That was my little speech. I love y'all.
That was awesome. That was a great last words to say. I mean, ooh, mic drop. She's so right. God does not give you anything you can't handle. And if you don't believe in God, then you can handle anything and you can do anything based off of your belief and what you think is your confidence. I mean, it was a beautiful conversation. It was so inspiring for me to just learn about different people's perspectives, confirm some of the things I was thinking, the things I was wanting to know and can be confident about. So I encourage you all to continue with things that you're challenged with, continue with things that you are kind of feeling stagnant within. I encourage you to do something good today. I encourage you to develop a healthy habit to go about your days happy and joyful and smiling. I hope to see you guys all next week. I'm going to think of a topic and post the space so we can have that reminder up. It was crazy because I just thought of like this space like literally hours ago and you guys all came. So I'm like success right there. Like I feel success. 100%. And, even if it doesn't work out with my project, I think having the hashtag empowerment is like very, very on point for the vibes that I'm trying to go with. And I hope to give you guys a very positive update regarding that project one day. I'm actually in the works of trying to get back in my singing, and I shared a song today with some people and got some really great feedback. But like I said, it's a work in progress. Quacklemore, you're a little late. We're about to end the space, but thank you for coming. Thanks for showing up. I just wanted to, spread the positivity and promote confidence and promote the ability that you can empower other people through your own confidence. People are looking up to you, especially on social media. Promote positive vibes, promote things that are not putting down other people. And if you don't know if it's going to put down other people, ask somebody close to you, and admit that you don't know it all sometimes. So I think at this point now I'm rambling, but I hope you guys all have a great Monday. Start your week strong, start your week on a positive note. Thank you all for coming, whether you were early or late or stayed the whole time. You are awesome, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.